Have you ever heard about Officer Jenny? Not many people have. There's just something off about her. Imagine it. You're a rookie trainer that just came to your first being in a big town. You've caught a few Pokemon, won and lost a few battles, and all in all, you have a bright and promising future ahead of you. When you meet her, she wouldn't be doing anything strange of suspicions. Or suspicious, not at first at least. Maybe she'll be walking down the streets on patrol or investigating some minor crime. It's always a minor one, you see. When the last time we've ever had a major crime, a murder or a kidnapping or arson, well, that's a reason for that. But we'll get to that later. Let's focus on our police officer for now. So you're walking into town for the first time, and you look into her looking at you. Maybe the two of you talk. She seems friendly enough to be focused, but you can't shake the feeling of that she isn't looking at you so much as she's looked at you. Like you're the piece of meat. That's if you notice the feeling at all. She does her best to minimize it, though she can never get rid of it totally. What you're feeling is natural reaction to seeing something pretending to be human. There's a scientific name for it, but it is layman. It is when something is trying so hard to look like one of us. That is the only smallest. Subtlest hints exist. That isn't so. The feeling you get, it's a warning. Your brain doesn't realize it, but your subconscious does. It does want you to run, but you should never do that. If you do, you'll get her attention. If you're lucky, she won't choose you. She is picky. She doesn't select everyone, just only a few in 1,000 or so worth of the risk. If you're unlucky enough to be that one, you'll have a few more warnings before the end. First, you'll meet her more and more, always doing something, always working away busily in the background. But in the very presence of her, to be sure that it will affect you in some manner. A lot of people develop a dislike color of blue, which is why she likes to wear. You can run now, but really it won't help. After all, there is a Jenny in every town worth the name. Really, at this point it's best that you do is just relax and let the overtake you. You'll never escape, and for the first few weeks, it will soon seem like almost a race. The best thing to do is to never happen to you even. You'll begin to dream of her, of Jenny. Just what the dreams of consist, that doesn't even matter. Only they will bring you with great pleasure and fulfillment. You'll have to start winning more battles. Everything you do will work perfectly. It'll be just like a dream come true. But it is a dream that's more than it will turn into a nightmare. You'll become tired. Simple tasks which become harder to do, and your memory will begin to go. You'll start to misremember things, or at least remember the things that haven't happened yet. We're not really sure why she does that. Maybe it amuses her? Anyway, one day after the first 2 of 8 weeks, you'll see Jenny again. This time, you'll see her on how she truly is. Just what she truly looks under the disguise, I can't say. No one who's ever seen it has survived. It's a sign of when you see that it means you're ready, and she knows instantly the second you see it. That'll be the last night of your life. She'll come for you cloaked in the shadows. No busy work to distract you this time. She's not hiding why she came here. If you're not smart enough to figure it out before that, now you'll know for sure. Her face will still look different. At first you think it's changed somewhat, but you really enjoyed it hasn't. This isn't just the first time you've seen her of the look of hunger on a human face. Like starving man presented with a huge fine meal. She can go years between feeding or so when she gets to eat. She likes to savor it. Jenny isn't the human to see. She never was. She is a creature. A monster born from our darkest nightmares. That's why there are so many of them. That's why there's one in every town. Long ago, they agreed to help the police region, but they also demanded a payment. Blood and more. No one will help you. No one will miss you. Even if your own mother won't remember. That's her power. In the darkness of night, with no one around you, you'll face her, and she will drain you dry. And all your hope and all your light, all your emotions worth a damn. All gone if you're lucky. You'll wither away and die. There will be nothing wrong as you as such. It'll be enough though that your heart just didn't want to keep beating. If you're unlucky, you'll wake up not tomorrow, not even weeks' time. The transformation takes a while. But when you do awake, you'll have the power over the weaker than you, which now includes most of you mankind. And you'll hunger for the hearts. Jenny will have punched the ragged hole in your skull or soul, which you can never fill. But you'll try. Oh, how you will try. There are upsides though too. You'll never see the age, never age or grow sick. As long as you have the meal handy, you could heal from any wound. By meal, of course, I mean victim, but that's okay, too, since you won't be able to think of them as anything but food. Your brains has been altered, see. You'll never see any human as anything more than food ever again. And the others of your kind will always be enemies. It's a lonely unlife, and pray for all of us that you'll never have any daughters. I think we all know who they grow up into. So you see, Jenny's greatest victory isn't the feeding of her itself. It is the terror that inspires her victims, and ultimately it makes you think like her. Luckily, this transformation only happens once every few hundred victims. Most of the time, they just die, and Jenny takes their body, with no one to remember them. No one will come looking for him, and a girl who needs accessories, you know? But a thought occurs to me. You know how I mentioned that we hardly get any major crime anymore? Well, given the fact that we seem to have an inordinary high number of arrests. And now how many people have ever actually seen a prison? Well, I can say for sure is that I never have. And that, my little pretties, was Jenny, a Pokepasta written by Talosmon. Talosmon, I do apologize that if I mispronounce the person's name. My final thoughts on this story? Well, this story, I remember seeing this story on the Creepypasta Wiki, and this one was actually written in 2013. Now, I did hear of this story from, Silver Stories channel. I actually re-listened to that narration not too long ago. And I mean, I believe there was another narration of this story. I just can't remember where I actually heard of it. I mean, this is actually a pretty interesting story. Now, I'm gonna definitely say right now that the author itself, from what I've heard personally, that the author did take a look at the Nurse Joy one, and has thought of taking a shoot at making a counterpart of Officer Jenny. And I'm gonna definitely say it's actually pretty good about how this is a pretty good story. Like, I'm gonna definitely say this right now, that this is actually a pretty good Pokepasta. Like, I know I haven't narrated one in a while. So this story would be a lot awesome if it what was it? Oh yeah. I'm sorry, I just can't speak for whatever reason today. I don't know why. But this story was written back in 2013, and I do like that the story was actually pretty good. The grammar was obviously pretty good, as well as the sentence structuring. I mean, this fairy is obviously pretty believable in a sense. I mean, it's quite believable in a sense. But yet again, I understand it's a made-up story, so I'm not trying to, deny anything. This is actually a pretty good creepypasta for what this story really is. Like, it does have a good concept of, the story of how it all went out. It's pretty good, to be honest. Like, I mean, I remember actually hearing this story a few times, and this one I didn't think was a bad story at all. I mean, I think it could have been ended with, that the person can heal wounds and never age or get sick. I really wish it would have ended there, but since this is an older story, I kind of will give it a pass because, it's an older story and the story manages to incorporate all that pretty good in my opinion. That's probably me, but you guys might have, your other opinions on this story, but yet again, I really don't know to be honest. Now, I know it's been a while since I last took a look at this story, so I decided to sit there and take a look at this story. It's a pretty good story, I'm not going to lie. It's definitely worth to take a look at it if you want to see how good the story is, or if you're looking for a decent or good story. This one is a pretty good story. Not a bad creepypasta involving, Officer Jenny, because, Officer Jenny, to be honest, I don't really understand about her for whatever reason. I think when I was looking at Pokemon, I never really liked her I never really liked, Officer Jenny for some reason. I don't know why. I guess that kind of grew on me ever since I was a kid. I guess ever since I was a kid and I played the old Pokemon games and even watched the show, for whatever reason, I really don't know what it is, but I somehow, for whatever reason, decides, not to, really care for this story. I mean, not the story itself, but I didn't really care for Officer Jenny, to be 100% honest, because, to be honest, Officer Jenny is kind of weird at times, but hey, it's not a bad story at all. I actually do like how well made this story was put together in that. So, with that said, I can't really see anything that I did not like about this story. I honestly can't figure that out. But even if I did, I would have definitely sit there and state the reason for it, but that's just here or there. Now, I'm going to sit here and say this now. The story was pretty good. I'm not going to lie. It definitely was well made for its concept and all that. It definitely had a really good concept for the story. It was pretty original. It's a pretty good fury of, Officer Jenny. I mean, for whatever reason, I don't know why. I mean, I thought the Nurse Joy story I, narrated a while ago was honestly pretty messed up, but in this case though, it just, I don't know. I really don't know what is up with that. I think there might have been something I, kind of looked at one point, but oh boy, I haven't read any of these stories in oh god, a really long time to be honest. But though, it's still a pretty good story. I'm not denying this one bit. It's definitely worth to take a look at, and I still find this story to be enjoyable, regardless of what it is. But yet again, I'm going to sit here and say this right now, that this is just simply my own personal opinion. And if you happen to disagree with me, that's fine too. We're all entitled to our own opinions regards to these creepypastas or pokepastas, whatever you prefer to call this one. And this is simply my own personal thoughts. My final rating of this story would have to be I'm gonna give this one a 10 out of 10. Really good. It is a pretty believable fury of regarding, Officer Jenny. And I mean, yes, I will agree, Officer Jenny is kind of messed up at the same time, but I still find Officer Jenny to be a cool fury-free concept for, a Pokepasta or something. If that makes any sense to you. But anyways, with that being the case, and with that being said, what did you guys think about this Pokepasta? Did you enjoy it? Did you not? Also, what you have done personally to help make this story a lot better? Feel free to leave me now what your thoughts are down in the comments below. I'm the Queen of Lions. Thank you so much for watching today's episode. And if you're brand new here to this channel, be sure to like, comment, and subscribe because I make brand new videos every single day. Don't forget to ring the notification bell to when I upload, so that way you guys will not miss an upload. And as always, please roll the outro because I'm out.